Howdy, I hope you've had a great day. Silver Trade here again with another video. GameStop might be on a 420-day cycle, just posted that something is coming with a Roaring Kitty hint, and on that new ETF IGME that we talked about last week, it had 99% short volume. GameStop posted a video just a couple of hours ago, and at the bottom it says stay tuned for updates on X. Press that, something is coming. Stay tuned for updates. And here's the video.
Ooh, yeah. What? Holy sh**. What is in there? Why would you need two of those? Alright, chumps, let's do this. Jenkins. I can't feel my tail.
I'm sure you noticed this, but in the reflection of the window, there's Roaring Kitty's Hang In There cat. And the license plate is Love GME. I love it. That's the same picture that Roaring Kitty had up while he was in court. How exciting is that? Could it be an acquisition? Could it be a buyout? Could it be a merger? Are they about to buy back their own stock? But please remember, none of this is financial advice and we are not financial advisors, and this video is made for entertainment purposes only. We're going to talk about the 99% short volume here in just a second, but before we do, we need to talk about GameStop's latest private offering. In this post, this person is clearing up the misunderstanding about how GameStop's convertible notes work, especially around how they get repaid. GameStop issued convertible notes, basically a type of debt like a loan that can be converted into shares of stock under certain conditions. These notes give GameStop flexibility. They can pay back the loan in cash and shares or a mix of both. Some people online are saying that GameStop can just wait 5 to 7 years and pay back the original principal, like $1 billion, and be done with it, no big deal. This is incorrect. GameStop can't just pay the face value and walk away. The amount they owe at maturity is tied to how much GameStop stock trades during a specific period. According to the legal agreement for the notes, if GameStop chooses to repay the notes in cash, the amount they owe is based on the conversion value, not just the original amount borrowed. The conversion value depends on the average stock price over the period of 20 days. So if GameStop stock doubles during the set 20-day period and they originally owed $1 billion in the notes, they will now owe $2 billion in notes, because the bondholders would have made more money converting to shares. But let's not forget, they can issue up to 1 billion shares in total, and they're at 425 something million. So they can always issue more shares. I don't know if they would want to do this though during a run-up, because they know that that would kill the run-up. Yes, they have done it before, but before, GameStop was trying to survive as a company. Now they are trying to thrive. I think it makes more sense for GameStop to go and buy some of their own shares, and then whenever those notes do get converted, they already have the shares waiting. And then they won't have to kill the run-up with dilution. And on Chart Exchange, GMEU's short volume, pretty average, around 30 to 50%. On GameStop it's the same, about 30 up to 50 up to 70. But the new ETF, IGME, that came out just last week, on the 10th, the same day that GameStop reported earnings, its short volume was 99%, with 1% long. And then the next day it was only 31%, that's usual. And then the day after that, it was 94% short volume, with only 6% of it being long. Like we recently talked about, Roaring Kitty posted that "you've got to be kidding me" meme whenever they came out with GMEU. Obviously he posted that because he was upset about GMEU coming out. It's unbelievable how they can just continuously print out ETFs around GameStop and then use those ETFs to short GameStop into the ground.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line!
And also, last week, we had somebody on the Chicago Exchange purchase $70 million worth of common stock, or 3 million shares. And thank you guys so much for all the love and support. If you wouldn't mind, please hit that like button. Now let's check out the chart. GameStop on the chart back on 3/21 of 2025 reported earnings for Q4 of 2023. They had a revenue of $2.23 billion. And so the stock ran from about $17 per share all the way up to $27 per share in one morning. Obviously something a little fishy going on. 420 calendar days after that brings us to May 14th of 2024, also known as the peak of the May run, when GameStop jumped from $30 per share up to $80 per share that morning. I'm sure y'all remember it. And then 420 days after that brings us to July 8th of 2025. Obviously, they're beating it down because GameStop is selling those convertible notes. And I believe that's similar to back here, whenever they beat it down from $15 all the way to under $10 per share, and then it was at $80 per share a couple of weeks later. They're trying to get the price as low as possible before July 8th. And this makes perfect sense on why Roaring Kitty has been shaking the bushes lately, but we haven't actually seen him yet. Could this be what Roaring Kitty's looking at? Is this what he was trying to tell us with this Time magazine post? Taking a second look at it, RSI is even lower than it was back when GameStop was at $10 per share. That's crazy. And remember, Roaring Kitty bought at $23 per share before the company was profitable and before they had saved up and before they had such a large cash pile. Back then, I think they only had like $2.5 billion worth of cash. Now the stock price is even lower, but they have 4 quarters of over 100% beat on EPS and almost $9 billion in cash. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but at the end of this video, I've got an insider who talks about how much Citadel lost on GameStop. After Japan signaled that they were going to be raising rates soon, just a couple of hours later, Roaring Kitty posted his gift picture. And now Japan is set to have another meeting this week, June 16th or 17th, as well as a meeting in July expected around the 24th or 25th. From my understanding, they will likely have to raise rates from the current 0.05 at one of those meetings. And when you look online, sentiment and most people agree they will be raising rates again. If I had a nickel for every time GameStop closed at $28 per share the day after beating earnings and then closed at $22 the very next day after announcing long-term 0% interest bonds, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird how it's happened twice. Last earnings, 28 and then down to 22. Just a couple of days ago, 28 and then boom, down to 22. GameStop's short sale volume is at its highest level it has ever been by far. Back in 2021, it didn't even touch 40 million. Just a couple of days ago, we saw 61 million, which is crazy to think about with GME also having 99% short volume. And Martin Shkreli, love him or hate him, he is respected on Wall Street and does have some insight.
I heard a rumor of how much Citadel lost on GameStop. Some people think Citadel made money on GameStop. Does anybody think that? I'm not supposed to talk about this either. I'm very much not supposed to discuss this matter. Maybe it is public. How much did Citadel lose on GameStop? It's a big number. Big number. I mean, Citadel's still in business, still doing fine, right? So you can guess, but they didn't make money on GameStop. They didn't make money shorting GameStop or doing payment order flow. They got their ass kicked. But I think that Markets are a little bit weird. Like, so take quantum computing, for example. This is going to sound a little like voodoo and like technical analysis, so you got to bear with me and just take this with a grain of salt. Yeah, they did not make money on GameStop. Citadel lost a gigantic amount of money on GameStop.
And thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. I hope you're having a great Father's Day, and happy Father's Day. God bless you.